Hello Internet, today is going to be all on eggs and how to fry an egg, the different ways you can cook it, because you can undercook it, you can overcook it. So let's really understand how that works and cook some eggs. Before we get started, there are different types of eggs. You can get small, medium, large, extra large eggs. Just to give you an example, I have medium eggs here. This is about the size of a medium. You can save a little money going with a medium. It's going to be a smaller egg, smaller yolk, smaller white. And then here you have a large egg. As you can see, it's a little larger. Typically, you're going to see the large eggs in most stores, but today we're going to save some money and cook some medium eggs. Now, the first thing that you're going to need is you'll need some sort of spray. You can do canola spray, coconut oil, you name it, all that stuff works. Some of them are flavored, so keep that in mind that the flavor could go into the eggs, like coconut. It might have a slight coconut taste. The best thing, if you're not worried about calories, is good old butter. That's going to be the best. It's going to add flavor, add fat, make it delicious. If you're only cooking 1 or 2 eggs, I recommend a smaller pan, just because it's easier to flip in a smaller pan than it is a bigger pan, as well as you don't have to use as big of a burner, and just the egg doesn't move around as much. You want about medium high heat to start, and depending on the heat is how the egg is going to cook. The other thing, when it comes to cracking an egg, most people think that you should hit it across a hard surface like the rim of this pan or the top of a glass, and actually I was always taught that you want to use a flat surface, so using the tile countertop or the flat of the stove will work just fine. So my pan is hot. One way to check if it's hot, you can drip some water on it, see if it sizzles. I did not put some spray in there though. We'll go ahead and spray it for this time. That's a good sound. Sunny side up, and what sunny side up is you only cook one side. The top stays sunny. So our pan is still at a good heat. We're gonna move on to the next one. Flat surface, crack it in there nice and gentle. The other thing is you do want to salt and pepper your eggs. Throw a little salt, a little pepper. So how do you know when to flip it? Well, a trick is you could just check it underneath. You don't want to burn the egg, but you definitely want it to have a nice slight browning on it. This is actually a good time right about now. And you have 2 options. You can either pick it up and flip it with this, or what I like to do is the flip in the pan. You want to get it to the edge of the pan, and I'm going to flick it off this ramp here at the end. There it is. And about 5 seconds and you're done. So it's sunny side up, over easy. This one has salt and pepper on it, so it's a little darker. You see the white starting to thicken up in the middle. And we're going to do a flip again. This time I'm going to use the spatula. The spatula is definitely the easier way to do it, as well as it's more precise. You can be more gentle with it. You see it's just a quick roll over. I even used my finger a little there. You can probably get away with just doing this. So this one we're going to do over medium. Okay, and this time, since we're using the spatula, you can just go under and that's a good sound. You get that nice sizzling sound. But the problem is if you have too high heat, you're going to get too much browning. It's going to burn on the bottom, too much browning, and then the yolk on top isn't ever going to cook, which might be okay if you're doing sunny side up, but if you're trying to get to a over medium or over well, the middle might never cook. So that's why you definitely want to still keep it on that medium to medium high heat. The closer it is to the edge, the more control you probably have. Just like that. If you get too fast, it's going to go way too high in the air, and when it comes down, it's going to crack the egg open. You don't want the egg to be cracked open. There's really no trick to it. You're cooking the egg all the way through. And if you want to see if it's done or not, you can either flip it and check, or you can kind of touch it. Make sure you wash your hands first. Like I could tell, like this is still gooey inside. Okay, so here we have it. We have sunny side up, over easy, over medium, and well. Let's go ahead and start with the well. Let's cut this baby open. And as you can see, it's all hard in there. No yolk coming out. Totally cooked eggs. Over medium, this is still going to have a little yolk in there, but as you can see, the yolk is thick because it's been cooked. It's not completely raw. Then we have sunny side up, which is just totally raw on top. There you go. And then over. Easy. Can you see that? Lastly, if you don't know how to flip, is you can actually put it on a pan like this, put it in your oven, sunny side up, and then put them in your oven, turn on the broiler, put it on the top shelf, and the broiler will shoot heat down onto this pan, and it'll cook the top of the egg that way. So if you're having a hard time flipping it, there's a little trick for you. Or if you had a party and you have to cook eggs for like 12 people, put them on a sheet like this, cookie sheet, sunny side up like this, put the whole sheet in the oven. You're gonna have those perfect over medium or over easy or well done eggs. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you could give it a like and a subscribe.